Yeah, see how all three of them got a check mark now?
That's awesome. Let's countdown. Here we
Andy's
go.
back.
What is up, everybody? How we
What's up,
doing
man?
today?
What's going on?
So they always say third time's a charm. So looks like this might be true for us.
Yeah, they say the third time's a charm, but it might be like the 16th because we've been working on this for a minute.
Well, welcome to Liquor, Legends, and Lore. I definitely said that wrong. Legends,
Definitely did. 100%.
Liquor, and Lore. Maybe I've had too much liquor today.
Already.
But hey man, I got kids, man. But
That'd definitely make you drink a beer, Chris. You wouldn't know anything about that right now.
But we're definitely going to get through it. My name's Scott. My handle is S Thomas Live, all socials. I'm 41, got a couple kids, got a wife. Just wanted to, hang out with you guys today and just share some info, talk about what's going on in the world, and get your guys' input on it.
You're ugly. That's my input.
And this is my cousin Jason.
What's going on? I'm Jason. My gamer tag handle, whatever you want to call it, Shades of Idiocy. I'm 40. Well, I'm about to be 40. I'll be 40 in less than a week. I have a fiance and 2 kids and a giant dog, which we talked about earlier, but it didn't make it. We were having issues with the stream. But his name's Alfred. He's a Dogue de Bordeaux. He's a 150-pound meathead.
All right, hold on. Go back. So not everybody is going to know what a Dogue de Bordeaux is. So tell them the movie. Ask them if they've seen it.
Well, of course they've seen it. It's Turner and Hooch. And if you haven't seen the original movie, you've seen the remake with whatever the guy's name was from Josh and Drake. Josh, whatever his name was.
Josh Peck.
Is it Josh Peck?
Yeah.
You've never seen either?
No.
Oh, so that's why every time you see my dog, you're like amazed at how big he is. You're like, whoa.
He's a big boy.
So yeah, the American term, he is a French Mastiff for anybody that wants to look them up. He slobbers, he's got a giant head, and he's kind of a dickhead sometimes, but wouldn't trade him for the world.
Cool story. Tell them what you named or who you named the dog after.
Oh, I named him after our grandfather who has passed away. His name's Alfred, and he's got big ears and he's stubborn, so he's just like our grandfather.
Perfect. Chris, you're up, bro.
I'm Chris. I just turned 34, married, no kids.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks, man. I have a sick puppy. She's 10 years old. She's not doing real well right now, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on her. But
yeah, bless her heart, man.
Yeah,
I need some of that Joel Osteen. You need to go over there and like tap her on the forehead and go, "You're healed."
Yeah.
Jesus says you're healed.
Knowing that dog, she'd bite the shit out of him. But
usually when I've got my dog worked up and I put my hand towards him like that, yeah, he tries to bite the shit out of me too. But
absolutely.
You're gonna lay down there?
She just look at me like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'd like to bring her up on camera, but
no, you're fine.
Yeah, she's not. If I had to pick her up to take her down the stairs earlier, and she just yelped. So
yeah, the one thing I love is how dogs can give you the blank stares, like you're an idiot.
Yeah,
and you immediately know. You're like, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
The worst part about it is, man, is they can't tell you what's wrong with them or what hurts, man, and it breaks your heart, dude. Because it's like, what can I do to make this better without taking you to the vet and spending thousands of dollars for them to try to do something? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she's going there tomorrow, so.
Well, all the prayers towards hopefully should be okay.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah. So now that everybody knows who we are, our first topic that I want to kind of jump into today is, I mean, hey, it's the first day of October. You know, we basically got through another summer. You know, kids are back. You know, kids are back in school. First day of October usually means the weather's getting cooler outside. Um, what are you guys' thoughts, man? Are you guys fans of Halloween?
I like the candy. I don't like candy corn. I think candy corn's freaking disgusting. But if you were to ask my fiance, she'd probably throw something at me when I said that because she is addicted to candy corn.
Candy corn.
She loves candy corn.
People say it's like eating a crayon. So
I think it's like eating a candle. The wax, it doesn't do it for me. I've never been a fan of candy corn. Halloween, yeah, I like Halloween. It's not, as an adult, I don't really get to do Halloween anymore. The kids get to go walk around for Halloween candy. I have to stay at our house to hand out Halloween candy to all the ungrateful ass kids that walk around our neighborhood.
Crumb snatching ass kids.
Pretty much, the ones that walk up, they, one piece and they grab a whole handful. So I know how it is. I will not just leave a bowl outside of my house because I know how that turns out. Somebody's gonna walk up and just like dump the whole thing in their bag and run off, and then Yeah,
you definitely can't. You definitely can't do that anymore, man. Now, back when we were kids, people would do that all the time, and now it's just now it's the fact that people are too worried about if you have COVID or if you have this.
That's
and
true.
Don't come near me, and
that's true.
It's definitely not the same place that we're. Sweets McGee says she is eating candy corn right now.
Ew.
Now, what kind of candy corn is it? Is it just your basic or is it flavored?
You want me to let you know? Because I can tell you who that is.
Oh, that is your wife?
That's my fiance out there. Yep.
She's your wife, damn it.
Yeah.
She just don't have the freaking paperwork yet.
She will be in less than a week.
You guys have been married for 5 years.
Pretty much. No, I've always said I want to be the guy that I've always appreciated because I've always heard about it like on comedy skits and things where you're walking the kids get candy and they give the adults beer. I've always wanted to be that guy with like a 30-pack and a bowl of candy and like, here you go. And then here you go, buddy. Like hand him a Coors Light or something. But I don't want to
help get you through the evening.
She's basic. She's eating.
I mean, walking kids around neighborhoods, that can go one or two ways. It can go really good. It can go bad. It can go really, really bad. You get like the one kid that wants to go. You get the one kid that's like bored, like they're done. They want to be, and then the adults, let's be honest. Nobody wants to walk their kids around for candy.
Hell no. And the sad part about it is, man, you can't trust people with your kids anymore. So, I mean, you got to worry about, are my kids safe? Or, I mean, you live in Dundalk, so you're like on the outside of Baltimore. So, I mean, you're kind of in a different area than we are. But the sad part about it is this area is just as worse.
I mean, it's bad everywhere you go, depending on what your situation is, what your circumstances are. No, I don't trust my kids to walk down the street without me, but it just is what it is. you gotta get over it at a certain point. So
yeah. Chris, what are your thoughts on Halloween?
Kind of indifferent. Okay. I don't do anything for it. I make sure my porch lights turned off on Halloween.
Don't come knocking on my door, you little badass kids.
I just turn all the lights off and hide inside my house.
Just you little bastards.
Sure the little kids come up here expecting something because I'm like, man, this costs money.
Do you have a Ring camera on the front door though?
Yes, I do.
You're right. So even though all the lights are off, you're hiding. You're on your Ring camera, like keep walking.
Yep. Yeah.
Dude, don't come up this driveway.
Don't ring that shit.
Right. Well, you're not wrong though, because there are kids, even though the light's off, they'll still come ring the doorbell just because they're like, oh, maybe his light burnt out. Oh, it's off.
Yeah, I think our whole development, a couple people put out some decorations and things, but I never see kids walking back here. So,
right. Yeah.
I think they kind of skip over it. I think a lot of them go bigger developments, just or in town or something. They don't really come here.
Well, you may live in a neighborhood where like, if it's like a little neighborhood and it's kind of out of the way, sometimes you'll get the people that like they'll drive through and they'll like, I've seen it to where if it's like, let's say it's like a cul-de-sac neighborhood, they'll drive through once, they'll see how many lights are on, and then they'll park and decide if they want to get out and walk. If there's only like 2 or 3 lights, they'll just tell the kids, "Nah, we're going to keep it moving."
Yeah, that's what we are. We're a little cul-de-sac right off the right off 13. So
yeah, so I mean, depending on how many of your neighbors do it, I can see where people probably aren't going to show up, too often for your house.
Yeah, they want to hit multiple houses in one stop. So
yeah, that's definitely how that works. I mean, it also, I want to address something that's really funny.
Sure.
Everybody needs to stop listening to the myth about check your kids' candy because there's going to be weed edibles in it. No. Nobody's giving away their edibles. They are expensive.
Drugs are too expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Right. Nobody's
drugs are good, but
a pot brownie. Like they're too expensive just be given away.
Nah.
Like
I mean, I kind of wish they did. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, so that's the thing. So I'm giving out if I'm giving out cans of Miller Lite to people, that'd be cool too. Like, here's a brownie for you. Here's one for you.
Right.
Exactly.
Happy Halloween.
Right.
Happy Halloween.
Good luck getting home.
Man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Halloween movie? What is your go-to? You want like Michael Myers, or you like a Hocus Pocus guy?
I know my wife's Hocus Pocus. She fucking loves Hocus Pocus. I don't know, Chris, what you got? You got any favorite movies? I don't know if I have any, honestly.
I don't. Scott knows. I don't watch movies.
Yeah.
You could ask me any movie. Have you seen this? Nope.
Oh, you're as bad as her. There's like a long list of things she has never watched because she was just sheltered as a kid and didn't get to watch much.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Halloween. Not really, if I'm honest. I'm not, because all right. So a little background. So I was named after the Friday the 13th movies. So yeah. I was born in '83. The first one was '82. Ironically enough, my birthday this year is Friday the 13th.
No
so
shit.
I'm getting married in less than a week, and I'm actually going to be on my honeymoon for my birthday, which is going to be Friday the 13th. So because of that, I've never been a fan of the movies. I've always like kind of scoffed at them because I think they're dumb as shit. If I had to, like gun to my head, if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Michael Myers to me is dumb. It's just dumb. Friday the 13th, I think is dumb.
Yeah.
It's like you drown in the lake, you get magical powers. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
You get the magical power. Right. You get magical powers of being able to walk, and you can magically chase people that are running full sprint. Yeah.
Yeah. Then no matter how fast you run, you trip one time and then you're dead.
Well, only if you're white. You got to be white and blonde.
White and blonde. With really big feet.
Yeah. It's just, it's like you're telling me that like if it was Jason Voorhees and Usain Bolt, like Jason's just walking and he catches him. Like every corner, Usain turns. Like that man runs really fast, but Jason's right there behind him. It's like, come on.
And he never ran.
And he never ran. But same thing with Michael Myers. What, you're a serial killer with a knife? So what, you're invincible? No. That's not how that works.
No.
Also, there's not enough responsible gun owners in those movies. So I don't care that you have a machete or a knife. Like a 12-gauge shotgun's going to take care of all that.
Blow his head smooth off.
All of that. Like
they came out with 25 movies and nobody ever had a gun.
Right. And then I guess I got to drink my own Kool-Aid because Freddy invades your dreams, but all he was a weird pedophile. So I guess he shouldn't technically have magical powers either, but he does. I don't know. I don't know. They're all dumb. Just Halloween movies are dumb.
But yet
they make billions of dollars.
Yeah, it's funny, Chris.
We keep on watching.
When you break it down to like what they actually are, you're like, man, that's really stupid.
Yeah, they were a lot more scary when we were kids. Like we thought they were cool as shit, and then now we go back and watch them at 40 years old, and we're like, that's really a dumbass movie.
A lot of them don't hold up, that's for sure.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I have a favorite. I don't know. Leprechauns in the Hood. That's St. Patrick's Day. That's not
Leprechauns in the Hood. Did it have Ice-T in it too?
It might have. I can't remember.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I don't think I could pick one. I know a lot of people if you have kids, it's hocus pocus for a lot of people, which I can see that. I can see that one
Yeah,
being there.
I'm a Nightmare Before Christmas guy myself. So
See, but here's the thing, though. That's Christmas. That's not Halloween.
yeah, but it starts on Halloween though. Here comes Halloween. Here comes Halloween. The song literally said that.
Well, the problem with that movie is I love the movie. I have no problem with the movie. The problem with that is it almost encourages people to do that dumb thing where, like, November 1st, people start putting Halloween or Christmas decorations up.
Walmart.
When you haven't even made it through Thanksgiving yet, which I absolutely hate.
Walmart is the devil for that.
Walmart and Home Depot. Home Depot actually might be worse because they actually blow up all their inflatables and they put them up on the rack when you walk in.
Lowe's is just as bad.
Lowe's
is not worse.
Bad. Yeah, they're not bad. All right, well let's move on from this topic because you can go down a rabbit hole on that one for real.
All right, so the next thing that we're going to hop into is Starfield.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
This is where you boys shine.
Yeah, shine like a starborn.
So it was probably the most anticipated game of the year.
It's Bethesda, aka Bugthesda.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it so apparently I don't know how Chris feels because you're playing on a laptop as well or on a PC as well. Console apparently launched with quite a few bugs that PC didn't have. I haven't had too many problems on PC. Now, granted, I've had a couple. I've had a couple game breakers where you got to reload an old save and go back through. I've had a couple glitches, people in the walls and shit like that. But to be honest with you, it really hasn't been horrible as far as like gameplay performance. But I think we talked about this off air that we have newer PCs that handle it pretty well because we both have 30 series GPUs. They only what do they recommend? Like a 1660 Super, I think, to actually play it, which I don't agree with.
I didn't see. No,
I think it recommended like a 1660, like to play it GPU wise to play it, and I don't know because I feel like you need to have at least a 30 series GPU for it to work correctly. But I haven't had many problems. I've had a few issues here and there. I don't know, Chris, what are your feelings on the general reception of the game? Because I actually have some negative things to say about it. I don't know if you did or not.
There's a couple things. Well, as far as bugs and things, I haven't really encountered much of anything. With the storage issue, I just dump all my stuff on the ship. You saw that earlier, I think.
Yeah. Looks like my daughter's room.
Yeah.
Looks like a trailer park in a tornado. Like
exactly.
Or that.
Yeah, I dump everything on the ship. There were a couple weird things that I saw, like one of the notebooks started spinning really, really fast.
I have seen that.
And it just like I would shoot at it, I'd melee, I would do whatever, and it wouldn't stop doing it. It was just spinning around the whole ship, just going crazy. With like whatever companion you're running with, there were a couple times where it looked like they were running like super, super fast, like way ahead of me. Like probably 5 times the speed that they're supposed to be walking. That's what they were doing. But aside from that, there's been nothing game breaking. There's been nothing, nothing with the missions so far that has really happened. I did accidentally steal a water bottle on accident in front of the wrong person.
Got immediately caught.
I got immediately caught, and it sent me on like a 4-hour-long journey to so now I'm like part of the Crimson Fleet because I stole a water bottle. I'm just like, what? Like they're like, you can do this or you can go to jail and pay a bunch of creds. I'm like, I wish I would have just gone to jail now because I'm 4 hours deep into this thing I didn't want to do.
I just finished that series of missions. Actually, you'll like it. That's actually a good mission set.
It is pretty good. It is pretty good. But I'm just like, man, this is taking me way off course from what I was doing before. It's interesting because you start out doing one thing, and the game really, like, depending on what happens, it really pushes you in a totally different direction from what you originally thought you were going to be doing.
Right.
The only problem is you have to remember what it was that you were trying to do beforehand.
All right, so I do like the game. Don't get me wrong. I think the game's awesome. I think the graphics are great. I think the companion system's good. The storage issue is a little trying sometimes, but you can get around it by building your own ship and just putting a ton of storage modules on it, whatever. Or as Chris said, you can just drop it. The ship that I made, my captain's quarters is like under the ship, away from everything else, and I just dump everything down there. Literally, you just dump it like out down the hole for my captain's quarters.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it works.
So
So
you put
a
it
few
in
of
the
them,
toilet or
no. So you've got your ship, and then you've got your module. So when you build your ship, it's now. This is what I loved about this game. I talked about this before the game ever launched. I hope the shipbuilding aspect is what I want it to be, because I love customizing and making my own ship color wise, and they knocked that out of the park. There's like 5 different companies that have different design, like color or different shapes of modules that you can use, and you can build any kind of ship you want within certain restrictions of width, length, and power wise, engine wise. They knocked that out of the park. Some things I didn't like. So I was under the assumption, now I don't know if I read this and I just got excited or if I just made this up in my own head. I was under the impression that when this game launched, you were going to be able to use joysticks to fly in space. I was wrong about that. Starfield launched with no joystick control compatibility.
Is that coming?
So
you know of?
I haven't seen anything where they're going to integrate it. I think I may have a chance because I'm playing on PC. It might be a mod that I can add in.
Okay.
But as of now, they have no plans on adding in throttle and throttle, or I'm sorry, stick and throttle or stick and stick. The other thing that I really don't like, I almost didn't play this game because of it, was you've both played No Man's Sky, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So
Great game.
the low atmosphere flying, the fact that you can fly around the planet,
Interplanetary flight. Yeah.
Starfield does not have it.
I know.
It's all loading screen. When you go to take off from a planet's surface, you hit space, you hold in the space bar, you take off, you're in space.
That's it.
You land, you bring up the planet map, you land, you go from space to land. There's no low atmosphere, which I was really looking forward to it, because if you design your own ship, what do you want to do? You want to fly that bitch around and play with it. And
exactly.
There's no low atmosphere flying. So that was almost a deal breaker for me. But I gave it a chance because it's a Bethesda game. I was a huge fan of Skyrim, Fallout. I've played all their games. I have no problem with them. And as you said, I haven't encountered any game-breaking bugs. I'm at peace with it because it's Bethesda. It's going to come with bugs. It's a AAA title. No game comes without bugs at this point. So you just kind of got to be comfortable with knowing that it might not work the way you want it to. But as far as things, back to things that I like a lot of the different missions that you go on. One of the things I don't like is in your mission tab, when you bring it up, there's a lot of stuff you got to scroll through. As far as like activities, it's like talk to this person, and he's right. It gets a little muddy at a certain point to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, because you can be in the middle of a really important quest line and just go somewhere and just do something else. And
exactly. Yeah.
It kind of breaks the immersion because time kind of stands still. It's like you're in the middle of this game revelation. And you're like, I'm just going to go over here and scan animals on a random planet for a while. And it's like, so it kind of breaks that up. And I don't think they have any plans for VR anytime soon either, which is also
VR would definitely be cool.
Yeah.
Right. So as I said, I love the game. I love what it is. I actually finished, without any spoilers, I finished the main quest line last night.
How many hours do you have into it?
131, which is way too many for anybody that's wondering. For somebody with a wife and 2 kids, and a full-time job
and a dog,
that's too many. And a dog, that's too many hours. But I was playing Elite Dangerous, which is another game, and I like that game a lot more than Starfield, because I bought purposely for Starfield. I bought Thrustmaster dual joysticks and all that good stuff. Oh, because the camera. I bought that hoping that I'd be able to transfer that over to Starfield, and it didn't work. So I was I like the game. I'm upset that it's missing a few of the features that I really wanted, but in the end, it's not a deal breaker for me. I still enjoy the game for what it is. So,
Chris, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, he's there. His camera just blinked out on us again. Scotty, do you have any plans to play it, or are you just kind of still doing your Destiny 2 thing?
So I definitely want to play it. Bethesda as a game company is amazing. The problem is I'm still heavily involved in other games, and when I do sit down and play it, I want to make sure that I can dedicate the time to it. I
Well,
don't
that's never going to happen. You're too involved in Destiny.
That's true. That's true. But that's actually coming up here soon. We're going to talk about that. But I want to make sure that I can give it the time that it needs to actually enjoy the game.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't want to go in and play it for a few hours and never pick it up again, because then at that point I wasted a download for nothing. Chris, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So what are your, with your time that you have in the game, I don't know how many hours you have. Jason just told us that he has over 100 hours into the game. Is it game of the year?
I'd say so. Yeah, probably.
I think it will be, but just because it's a AAA title, I don't know that they're going to have a choice. If you look at the games it's up against, you've got Baldur's Gate, you got Diablo 4. I don't know how many other games it has to compete with, but because it's Bethesda, it's probably going to get Game of the Year just because of how highly anticipated it was.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't give it Game of the Year. As I said, it's a great game, but it does have its flaws. There are definitely more than a few bugs and glitches that would keep me from saying that it runs perfectly smooth. But as I said, it'll probably get it just because it's Bethesda.
Thanks, man.
It'll probably get it just because it's Bethesda, just because it's a AAA title, and I don't see anything coming out this year that's gonna, or anything that has come out this year that's gonna fuck with it. I don't.
When does Spider-Man 2 come out? That would be something that I would probably put in that's basically hyped just as much.
Yeah, I can see that.
Forza, I know Forza's coming. Forza's not really. I mean, Forza would definitely win best racing game. It always does. But like you said, I can't really think of any other games that are going to give it a run for its money.
Spider-Man 2 is October 20th, so it's coming later this month. But the problem is,
did I miss the cutoff point?
Did they miss the cutoff? Is October too late? No, not really. Because I was going to say, you got people that know like the game that they're going to put 60 hours in the first like 3 days. You know what I mean?
Sure. Especially your streamers and stuff are
right.
But now
here's the other thing though. So this is where that Game of the Year thing really comes into question, because anybody who's into gaming like the three of us are, you're going to understand. You got the I'm trying to think of the word, the exclusive deals. You've got the exclusive war going on right now. So as we all know, Starfield is Xbox PC,
because it's owned by Microsoft.
Spider-Man 2 is Sony only.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say neither of them deserve to be Game of the Year, because they didn't release it for all the consoles and
because not everybody got a
chance to play it. So it's like you're almost biased. It's like you should make them like plead their case. Like, why do you deserve to be Game of the Year when you cut off? I mean, think about it. Starfield's not on PlayStation at all.
No.
You've got, I mean, I don't know what the average is split percentage wise in the world for Sony versus Xbox players, but it's probably around 50%. I mean, there are people that have both because they just got too much fucking money and, whatever. But if you really think about it, you cut off half your fan base, because there's a lot of people I know that have PlayStation 5s that were like super upset because they weren't going to be able to play Starfield. And me personally, I've never played a Spider-Man game because I've never had a PlayStation past. I had a PlayStation 3 for a while, but I never had
on
Spider-Man.
GameCube.
There you go.
Shout out even then, it was awesome. I loved it.
So do I want to play Spider-Man or Mario Sunshine? What's happening?
Well, there goes our shout out to Nintendo this stream here.
Man, please. There's multiple Switches in my house. There's like 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gets a shout out. Right. Like we've all, I think in the past, we've all had like everything that you can offer. I mean, we've all had PlayStations and Xboxes and PCs and, you know, Game Boys, Game Gears, you know, we're all, Chris, I know we got a couple years on you, but we're all old enough to remember, you know, Game Boy, the original, and Game Gear and
Bro, I remember playing Atari in my house.
Yeah, exactly. Atari.
I still have it in my closet.
Shout out to Atari. Wow.
And I think it belonged to Pat, but
well, Pat is he's 100 years old, but
I mean, but I get why people are doing this exclusive stuff. I just don't necessarily like it. And
yeah,
I look biased because I have an Xbox. I have 3 Xboxes in this house plus my PC. So I look biased, but I'm really not. That's just, we talked about it earlier about integration. That's just how that works. I just happen to have Xbox, so that's what I stuck with. Not for any particular reason. That just is what it is. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but game of the year, I think you should have to plead your case if you're only marketing it to, let's just say 60% of the world's population.
Absolutely. Last year's game of the year, I want to say, was Elden Ring, and it was on everything. Visually, the gameplay was just a 10 out of 10. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Right. That was I believe that was one of the first like mainstreamly popular Dark Souls games as well.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Because I think that was the first time a lot of people realized how hard those games really were.
Oh, it's hard. It is hard as hell.
Right.
You die, you start over again. You die. There's no like going back to your last checkpoint. You die, you start over again.
Yeah. I've played Dark Souls and I don't anymore because it's like the level of frustration that makes you want to like take whatever you're holding and throw it against the wall as hard as you can.
Facts.
Is when you're like a way through the game and you've got like loot, you've got good stuff, and then you die to something dumb like a glitch,
a dog.
Something. You get stuck on a wall and you die. Yeah, and you just it's so yeah. So Elden Ring, I think, was the first taste a lot of people got of like this is what a try hard or a sweaty goes through on a daily basis in gaming. And I think a lot of people gave it a try, and I think it was an initial pop. I think a lot of people played it, but I think a lot of people moved on pretty quickly because they were like, "Damn, this is hard. I don't want to do this anymore." So
it was definitely visually and gameplay. If you were good at it, it was definitely a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, it's a great game. Absolutely.
Chris, you got any final thoughts on Starfield?
I love it. I love it so far. Like what Jason said, I mean, there are some things that I wish were a little bit different. They could have executed things a little bit differently, but stuff could change possibly.
Sure.
Eventually, you know, I mean, it's a new game. They can, you know, add different elements to it as you know, as time moves on. I'm not sure how much they'll really add, especially this early on, but you know, I mean, you figure Bethesda games, they come out once every how many years? And
10.
Yeah, so maybe. There'll be, I mean, the last one I was playing was Fallout 4 with a 3 what was it? I think I had a 3 meg per second download speed. So
Jeez.
whenever an update came out, I'm just like, you know, I didn't get to play it. I mean, I still have probably a couple hundred hours into that game, but
yeah,
it's I love that one, and so far I'm really enjoying this one. It's easy to get distracted, but that kind of shows that it's a good game because
how much there is to do.
Yeah, right. It shows it's a good game because you have this thing set in your mind you want to go accomplish, but then something else interesting pops up and you're like, I could avoid this, but I'm kind of curious. You know, I want to see what happens if I actually do this.
That's what makes you the perfect gamer for it. It's like your curiosity gets the better of you.
Exactly, it does, and it costs you hours. It costs you hours.
Curiosity also killed the cat though too, buddy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the other thing, like you said, was DLC. It's like Bethesda's not known for making DLCs.
No.
So they'll update it and they may add in a few things here and there, but they're probably never going to do like a full-on DLC.
Yeah. Yeah, unless there's like some kind of outrage from the community or something absolutely crazy. But even then, that would be new for Bethesda.
Yeah, it would.
So
Yeah, they tend not to give a shit. Once it's on, it's on. They don't give a shit.
no, with Fallout 4, there was this game breaking bug during a mission where you were in this settlement and you were talking to this person, and they just kept repeating the same shit over and over and over again, and would not allow you to the next step. So eventually, you just have to kill all of them and go join a different faction. I ran into that, and I'm just like, I want to continue this, but nothing. You know, you go talk to the person you had to talk to. That was the next part of it, and
it does happen though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it was never fixed, as far as I know.
And a small aside from that, it makes you wonder, like back in the day, how you ever got through a game without Google, because something like that would happen back in the day, and you're like, well, I can't play this game anymore.
Yep.
Now you can just type it into Google, and it's like, oh, this is how I fixed it, because I ran into one of those on Starfield. I had to reload an old save and go back through, and it worked the second time I did it.
Yeah.
But I thought I was screwed. Like, I thought I was stuck, and I'm like, oh man.
Well, if you remember back in the day when you would go buy your new game from GameStop or whatever it was called before, Funko Land or whatever it was called before that, you could always buy the $20 guide that went along with the game.
Yeah, the strategy guide. Yeah. I remember
that. Is retro as it gets now.
Nintendo Power.
I actually picked this thing up.
The video game textbook.
Yeah, you can read.
There's a lot of pictures.
I was gonna say there's got to be pictures.
Okay.
But obviously down the road we can get into that stuff. But that book basically is the whole history of gaming. Like, when this came out, what they did to make this, it's actually a really cool book.
You're old enough, you know the whole history of gaming.
I know, but I like to look behind
his memory is not that good in his old age.
That's true. That's true. It's starting to slip. He's like, I got kids.
Starting to slip a little.
He's like, I forgot I had kids and a wife.
Whose kids are they again?
Right.
So we're good on Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Will it get Game of the Year? Probably. Does it deserve it? I don't think so. But what do I know?
Yeah. So here's one that actually kind of hit home for me.
Oh boy,
this one's weird.
So, I mean, Chris, you're only 34, so you were 7 when this happened.
Yeah.
He was alive though.
Yeah. So, Cuz and me and Jason, I mean, we definitely grew up hip hop fans. I mean, that we thought it was a cool thing to do. Yada yada yada. Tupac was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, huge. Obviously he died at 25 years old. And then dropped 9 more albums after he died.
He's still dropping music to this day.
Right. So, I mean, there's still the thing out there that he's not even dead. But, obviously that'll never be proven. It took him 27 years to finally arrest the person who supposedly killed him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's supposedly like there's people at this point, 27 years later, they might just say it to get some clout. Like, I don't know. The whole thing's fishy for me, man. And as far as him, like, not being dead, they say that every person has, 7 to 9 doppelgangers in the world.
Sure.
Where there's somebody that looks exactly like you. So,
which is fucking crazy, but yeah,
it is crazy. But I mean, there's plenty of people that look a lot like you. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody that looks like me, but I'm sure there's been one or two.
Shrek.
But
Shrek.
You can't say, yeah, right. You can't say, oh, I know he's alive, and then show a random picture of like a guy in like Barbados or something. Like, yeah, there might be a guy that looks like him, but it doesn't mean that's him. But people are in denial. They want him to be alive, so he has to be alive. It's like,
I've seen like 4 or 5 Snoop Dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so the person that they arrested, his name was Keefe D. I'm pretty sure. I think he was a Blood.
Right.
Take you back to 1995 when this all happened. Basically, they were at the Mike Tyson fight, Tyson Holyfield. And they got into a fight at the MGM Grand, I believe, which is where the fight was. They beat this kid up, and then an hour later he was shot, and he was in the hospital. He didn't die that day. He died a few days after. And there's always been the rumors that he's not dead. There was no autopsy, there was no this, there was no this. This doesn't add up to this, and then, but at the end of the day, we're never going to know the truth if he's here, if he's dead, or whatever, because it was 27 years ago.
Right. That's why I said it's fishy. It's it's
almost like a distraction or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Start reading the local news. What's going on? They're trying to distract you from.
Yeah.
Well, and the problem is the distractions happen way too much. And we're going to get into that too. But do I think it's great that they finally arrested his killer? Yeah. Do I think it's weird? Absolutely. The problem is his mother passed away a few years ago, and she was like one of the biggest advocates on solving this crime of who killed her son.
Right.
And she died. I think she died of breast cancer, if I'm recalling it correctly.
I'm not sure.
But she never got to see her son's murderer go to prison.
Right.
So she never got that closure, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Obviously the Biggie murder, that's a whole different can of worms. Tupac was my guy. I love Pac. I mean, he was, his acting was kind of sketch, but Juice is still one of my favorite movies. The fact that
I like Gridlocked. Him and Jim Belushi.
Gridlock was great too. But Juice, him and Omar Epps was golden.
Yeah, I mean, if it's the guy and it took him this long, it sucks that it took this long. But if that's actually him and he's the one that actually did it, I mean, I'm glad that somebody's going to be held accountable.
Sure.
But as I said, in my opinion, statute of limitation. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about, it's been so much time has passed that can it even really be considered a win at this point?
No.
Even if it was actually him, it's like, what's it matter? Right. What's it matter at this point? Like there's going to be no comeuppance. Nothing's going to come of it. Like his mother didn't get to see it. And people that care, I honestly hate to say it, I don't think it really even matters to people at this point.
No,
it's a headline, but people, if they haven't already forgotten about it, by next week it'll be a faded memory. Nobody will even remember it. So it's like,
yep. It's just it's just one of those things that you wish it could have happened sooner. It didn't. Job well done, finally, but does it even matter at this point?
No, I don't think it does.
Yeah,
I don't think it does.
So rest in peace, Tupac Shakur.
Right.
Here we go. So we got to the conspiracy theory part of the show. This is where Mr. Maddox shines here.
Yes. So this thing, I actually built a model Titan out of a Pepsi can and some clear cling wrap for the whole face, for the face of it, that glass window that they had or whatever. Yeah, just as a joke, printed out the what was it? Ocean Gate logo on. Did I show you?
Now, do you have it?
I have it. I don't know where it is. I wish I had it. I put some styrofoam landers on the bottom of it.
It's probably actually crumpled somewhere in a corner because that's what happens to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yes. You and I kind of touched base on this last night and what your thoughts were. So I'm going to give you the floor because this is where you shine here, buddy.
Okay. Well, Titanic. The big theory is that it wasn't actually the Titanic. It was the Titan, a sister ship, both built by J.P. Morgan.
Olympus. It was the Olympus.
Or the Olympus. I'm sorry. Not the Titan, the Olympus. My bad.
Yeah.
So basically you want to get rid of some competition. JP Morgan wanted the Federal Reserve to become a thing. And he had a lot of people that did not like that idea. So what better idea than to invite them onto your ship that you personally built and call out the next day, oh, my wife and I, we're not feeling that great, but you guys, you go have a great time. You have a great time. And magically, the ship sinks to the bottom of the ocean. And it's been this huge, big mystery for years and years and years. They've made movies about it. I think it's a great way to eliminate any kind of resistance to making you billions and billions of dollars. So
yes, sink them all in the middle of the Atlantic. Yeah, it usually works.
Just sink them all, and then there'll be nobody to vote against the idea. So, it's great. It's great. Titan stories.
So there was rumors going around. Obviously, for those that don't know, the Titan was the ship that was supposed to visit the Titanic wreckage. It was controlled with an Xbox controller.
No, it was a Logitech controller.
Logitech, which was a lower end of the spectrum type of controller. Right. It wasn't even a nice controller. It was like
first
budget.
Off,
it was a budget controller.
It was a controller.
It was a controller, but if you went through the reviews, like 25 or 30% of the reviews said 1 star, randomly disconnects, will not reconnect to what you have it plugged into. Which, I saw one, ironically enough, is exactly what happened to the sub.
I saw one that said, this controller ruined my business, and now I'm dead.
Right. Yeah.
The internet remains undefeated.
Yeah. There are some theories about this. Was it the Abu Dhabi guy and his son were on there? The real wealthy ones.
They were billionaires. Everybody on this thing had money. They were rich.
So here's where you run into your first problem. Rich people don't think that things can't be solved with money. So the story that I read, because I actually am a huge conspiracy theorist in my own right, along with Chris. The story was that the people working for the guy that made this ship, now granted, he gets kudos because he went down on the ship himself. But, what better way to convince people that it's safe than to go down yourself? Well, that didn't work out real well for him in the end, but there's people that were saying this thing isn't structurally sound. One guy asked, what are we going to do about the safety reports? And he fired that guy.
Yeah.
You don't fire the guy that's going, hey, I don't think this thing is safe. They were using outdated airplane material that was past its date of use. And if you look at the budget, yes, it was expensive. But James Cameron...
How much was the actual trip? How much was the trip to get on it? Wasn't it like $250,000?
It was $250,000, yeah, to go on the trip. James Cameron, touted movie director, Avatar, the original Titanic.
One of the goats.
He went down to the Titanic in a submersible. But the one he went in, he said that the rating for his ship was 5 times the pressure that it needed to be to get to where the Titanic was. Whereas the Titan submersible could only match the pressure that they were supposed to be at. So that's red flag 1 right there. If you're not over-engineering this thing, what are we really doing?
Right.
But that's the rich guy syndrome. Oh, I got money. I'll just
I'm untouchable. Nothing's going to happen to me.
Exactly. Right. I'll pay this guy off. It's whatever. They told him this thing was a death trap and it wasn't going to work. And he was just like, nah, it'll be all right. Yeah. All right. Okay. How did that work out for you?
Right.
Exactly. But at the base of this all, yes, that Logitech controller and the fact that I get the pressure wise, they had to bolt them in. There was no escape hatch. When that dome that Chris is talking about went on, they bolted it on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If I got on this ship, first off, I don't do the water very much anyway. If I was getting in this ship and I was like, how do we get out? And they're like, we'll unbolt you at the end. No, you won't.
Yeah.
You can let me off now.
Exactly.
Yeah, they could have gotten lost at sea, even if they did, reach the surface again. If they were out somewhere and, something, their location, their GPS wasn't working or something like that, then they would have been stuck there and they would have, that would have been it. They would have run out of oxygen still, even if they were at the surface.
Yep. Wouldn't that be something? Running out of air, staring at it.
Yeah.
So what if I told you there's a conspiracy theory that they were never in that thing. They faked their deaths.
They all were in legal trouble.
They were in legal trouble.
They had lawsuits and
I haven't heard this one yet.
Lawsuits, billions of dollars.
Okay.
They go into this unsafe ship or whatever the hell you wanted to call it.
It's a submersible.
Okay. It's a submersible.
Like my $12 word, submersible unit.
Yeah, use it in a sentence. I'm just kidding.
There was a submersible called the Titan. It went
exactly.
right.
So the rumor is they faked their death to get out of the legal trouble.
Really?
They were never in this ship, and they're still out there somewhere today, alive.
They're chilling on Epstein Island.
No, somebody just bought that actually.
Oh,
that's
really?
They bought it. They're going to turn it into a resort.
That's a story for a different shit, Chris. We haven't unlocked that level yet.
Look, Chris Hansen.
I bet Disney bought it.
Oh God.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, it's an no. You know, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's leave that one alone. I'll start making jokes. We'd be all banned on everything. I hadn't heard that conspiracy theory, but I can believe it. I can believe it.
If you have enough money, you can do whatever the hell you want.
You figure these are extremely rich people, right? They have people that they have advisors. Don't you think any of them would be like, yeah, don't do that. You can't do that. Or they're, just.
But that's also that rich syndrome, though. Anybody below you is like, don't do that. They're like, what do you know?
It is, but these are rich, very powerful, very influential people.
Yeah. And they're businessmen, so they know good and bad. Yeah.
They know good and bad. They know better. They're not stupid. They didn't get rich like that because they're morons.
Correct.
Now, just think, you have all this money. It doesn't take much to buy a new social security number, a new ID, a new passport.
Or
you can buy whatever you want.
If they really, really wanted to do this, why wouldn't they just build their own submersible?
Correct.
Hire the best engineers and all this shady stuff.
Well, because they're also shrewd. They're like, why pay billions of dollars when I can just pay $250,000?
And
but they also look at the ship and they're like, okay, this thing's like got fiberglass like somehow glued to metal, like it just
Gorilla Glue, duct tape.
It was held together with Gorilla Glue duct tape. Exactly.
Yeah, it really was.
That's the thing. So you've got all this money, you don't care. Why not? Be a little bit safer about it. I don't know. You've got your life made. Like you said, there is the billionaire syndrome where you're just like, oh, well, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
But that many of them?
Yeah. The thing that I'll end on is that if you have that much money, why would you ever put yourself in that position in the first place? Like where there's even a chance something could happen to you.
Go back and watch the movie.
Unless you're pulling some shady shit, right? So
or they might have just wanted the adrenaline.
Yeah, there's a lot better ways to do it than that, though.
Yeah, I'd much rather jump out of a plane than something like that, or try to go to space. Go in Bezos' ship.
No, you can walk down they can walk down a random street in Baltimore City and try their luck. You want an adrenaline rush? Walk
for free.
Have some hundreds hanging out of your pocket. Walk down the street.
And see how much you have when you get to the other end.
Right.
That's hilarious.
But I can get on board with that. I'm big in conspiracy theories too. The whole, the JFK shit and the
those future
episodes. You got JFK.
I can't wait to get into those.
Oh, I know about it. Well, the thing, so here's the thing though. Hot take, which everybody's gonna jump on my Alex Jones. He's out of his mind. He's a lunatic.
Oh, he's nuts.
He's been right about some things, though.
Very often.
Yeah.
So he says some dumb things. The Sandy Hook thing, I get it. He was out of pocket for that.
Yeah.
But he was right about Bohemian Grove.
Mm-hmm.
He was right about a lot of things that people are like, Wait. He was telling the truth about that?
Yeah.
And you got to go back and re-listen to things he says. He said a few things that have turned out to be very true.
And he says it very passionately. He gets.
That's why he has lawsuits against him, because he
A
says
lot
things.
of lawsuits.
He has a lot of lawsuits.
I used to listen to him back in I had his podcast downloaded on my, it was the iPhone 3GS. I had his app on my phone.
You're on a list somewhere.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure. Probably multiple.
Then again, if you listen to Joe Rogan, you're on a list too. So
right,
Yeah.
which there's millions of people listen to that dude.
Right.
This guy right here does.
Yeah, I know I do.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, the conspiracy theorists, the things like that, like Alex Jones has talked about, like MK Ultra, that turned out to be completely true.
Mm-hmm.
The whole MK Ultra with Charles Manson, he was part of it. The CIA taught him how to dose people and control them to do what he wanted. Like, all that's completely true. Operation Paperclip, which was the U.S. was going to destroy an airliner and say that Cuba did it in order to start the war. And like, there's so many things that happen, and you're like, they wouldn't do that. They're like, yeah, they would.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah. I mean,
and
then you've got not to be, and I'm probably considered more, I'm apolitical. I don't like the government at all.
Mm-hmm.
But my opinions would probably, you'd say I'm more right leaning than left. You look at things like the whole weapons of mass destruction thing, never happened. Nothing there, just an excuse to. War is profit, and America loves getting into wars because it's expensive. The war machine profits, and when the rich wage war, the poor suffer. That's the truth of it. So, I mean, if anybody wants to go down the rabbit hole, there's so many conspiracy theories that you can look at. Operation Northwoods, Operation Paperclip, MK Ultra.
Don't give away our future episodes here.
Oh, no. Dude, there is thousands of hours on this stuff that you can look up.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to touch on some of them.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's move on from this before we go down this rabbit hole, because I think me and Chris can probably go on a tangent for like 8 hours.
Oh, yeah, we could.
So you guys have covered Starfield. So now it's time for me to cover what I've been playing. Those of you that know me know that I am a Destiny 2 guy. I've always been one.
Sweaty.
I definitely
You're sweaty.
Your 130 hours in Starfield don't compare to my 1,600 hours in Destiny 2.
Is that how much time you have? Really?
Yes.
Yeah. He said that I wanted to fall out of my chair. I was like, holy hell.
You could have gotten a master's degree in something.
He has a master's degree in pew pew.
Yeah, pew. Have you not seen my hunter? Anyway,
that's sick.
So Destiny's 7 years in now. And they were recently bought by Sony. And us avid Destiny players thought, it's being bought. Maybe Sony will fix the server problem. The game has really bad servers. Game crashes left and right. The last 3 weeks, the game was unplayable. And when I mean unplayable, you load in, you get kicked out. DDoSed in, DDoSed out. It was bad. So I had to look at something else to play. So Mortal Kombat 1 released September. I think it was last week.
Right.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
This is the newest one?
The newest one.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat's been around for 30 years.
Right.
The first one dropped on Sega Genesis at that. So that tells you how far that goes back.
When was that? Like 91, 92, I think?
It was 93.
93.
It was the first game that had game is rated mature on it.
Blood.
Yep.
Blood and gore.
Blood and gore. So back into the game. I finished the story mode a few nights ago. It was about 15 chapters. Visually, it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Right.
I'm not going to give away any spoilers on the end of it or whatever, but I definitely see DLC coming to the game. Probably add on to the story mode.
Oh, they'll be adding characters and stuff in all like just like they did with the last
characters.
one.
Yeah, they add what they call their fighter packs, which you'll get like 3 or 4 new guys, and then you'll get this stuff.
Right.
On the last game, which was Mortal Kombat 11, they had the story mode, and then they added on to the story mode like a part 2, which turned Liu Kang, which he's OG, he's been there since day 1, into the Fire God.
Right.
All in all, I love this game. The game's amazing. Fatalities are just as gruesome as they were 30 years ago, if not worse.
If not worse.
Yeah.
You sent me a couple of videos. They were pretty interesting actually. And that wasn't even like main fighting. That was just cutscenes and whatnot. I was like, ooh.
Exactly. You're basically watching a movie while you're playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All in all, I think it's great. I do have some dislikes about the game. The delay is kind of bad with it. So basically what I mean by that is when you're playing and say you press this button to punch the guy in the face, there's delay. I don't know if they can fix that with a patch, but it feels like it lags. I've got my ass whooped a lot because of it. But all in all, I have enjoyed playing it. It was definitely a good substitution for my main game to be down for the last 3 weeks.
Right.
It seems like they have patched that. But the question is for how long until something else happens.
Yeah, Destiny has always had like traditionally bad servers. But
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that could have been due to it could just be the amount of people that try to play on it. Because
that's true.
Was there anything that got released or right around the time that the servers went down?
So the new season came out 6 weeks ago.
Oh no, that's too long ago. All right.
Exactly.
New raid, anything like that, or no?
They had a raid come out a couple weeks ago, which was Crota's End. Which
yeah,
was
but a couple of weeks ago is still too long ago. So I was gonna say there's a thing right now in New World where the New World is on public test servers right now, and a lot of people are starting to come back into that game. Whereas it was kind of dying, and now people are starting to come back into it. And if your servers aren't set up for it, you can obviously have issues. Ironically enough, that's one of the reasons I like playing single player games. I'm not big on the whole MMORPG. I don't like having to get into a queue and wait to play a game like
for hours.
We're all grown men. Like we got jobs and we got families and things we got to take care of. If I've only got like an hour, I don't want to spend 20 minutes just trying to get into the game and then play for like 15 minutes and have to get right back off. Like I'm trying to load up, grab and go and get on. That's actually one of the reasons I really appreciate my PC having an SSD instead of an HDD, because from lifting my lid to it firing up is like 8 to 10 seconds. I mean, it's like it's on, it's running.
She's snapping.
Yeah, I never really appreciated that until I had a new PC, because I was like, yeah, HDD, it's all cool, but is it really that useful? My God, it's fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm not a fan of the big MMOs, and I know you are because you play with a lot of different people and you have fun on it and whatnot. But I'm also not a looter shooter kind of player, so that's never really been my thing.
I mean, you're a Final Fantasy guy, so that's
I am a Final Fantasy guy, which is weird though because I am enjoying Starfield.
RPG, right?
Well, I'm enjoying Starfield, which is a looter shooter, kind of. It's a blend, but yeah, it's never been my thing. But it's funny because once I get into it, I fall into that role and I don't mind doing it. And having people to play with helps too.
Yeah. So in closing on that, I do think it is a great game for as far as Mortal Kombat, but Street Fighter 6 came out probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I would say so far that's been the best fighting game of the year.
I haven't played Street Fighter game in forever.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's basically what Mortal Kombat should be, but without the blood and the gore.
Fair enough. Well, but there's a lot of those in it. Street Fighter, Tekken,
Well, Tekken 8 actually comes out January, so that'll be one.
What's the other one? The one they do all the tournaments with DOA, Dead or Alive 2?
Yeah, Dead
Never
or
played
Alive
that.
still around. They haven't launched a new game in a while,
Okay.
so
I haven't played any of those games since Jean-Claude ruined it on the movie screen. It's been a while.
I mean, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Tekken is your three-headed monster when it comes to fighting games.
I can see that. Yeah.
Moving on. I know Chris doesn't really watch a lot of sports.
Nope.
We've
That's
kind
cool,
of
though.
run over the 1 o'clock hour here, so I said we look at games at 4. Just for the fact of we can't really predict the games that are already happening now.
Sure you can. It's what is it? 1:33? Games are still in the first quarter. They just started.
Okay. All right. So those of you that know my wife and my wife's family, you know that they're big Eagle fans. We're actually going to the Eagle Niner game in December.
It is going to be rowdy.
It's going to be cold.
God, it's going to be rowdy. I don't care about the cold. I'll warm myself up in the parking lot
with a few shots of Crown, but
with a few beverages, a few tasty beverages.
Eagles Commanders right now was sitting at 7-7. What are your thoughts on that, Jason?
Is that a real question? Come on now. And just because I don't like the Eagles, I'm still going to pick them. It's the Commanders. Come on now.
But it's only 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. Is my thought. It should be worse than that. So that tells me it's been a defensive struggle between those two.
I mean, you can call it what you want, but it's still the Commanders.
I'm
never gonna pick the Commanders.
I'll say last year the Commanders gave Philly their first loss.
Hey, look, I'm rooting for them. I'd love for them to lose. So for anybody that's watching this right now, me and Scott are both 49ers fans.
Absolutely.
Trust me, I'm rooting for the Commanders to beat the Eagles because that knocks them off as an undefeated team. And then if Miami can lose to Buffalo, which they're very prone to doing, that leaves us as the only undefeated team left.
Miami being the same team that put up 70 points last week.
Yeah, but that's
70.
The Broncos, though. There's no excuse. Like they need to just clean shop. Like Russell ain't it. I'm sorry. Let Russ cook. Now you need to put him in the trash can.
Yeah. Russ got the bag and then he fell apart.
Now Russ is well done. He got cooked. He's burnt. Put him in the trash can. He's done.
All right. How about looking at go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so there's a couple games going on right now. Most of them are pretty close.
Yeah, it definitely looks like. I mean, the only one that's really out there, right? I mean, the Jaguars killed the Falcons in the Toy Story world there.
Yeah.
Rams are up 14-6. The Rams are tough. They don't know how to put it all together. I think that's what the Rams' problem is.
They're still missing Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is definitely out. There's talks that he'll be back in a few weeks though.
Yeah, so they'll be a lot tougher to beat once they are.
He's coming back at the right time. You got the Ravens and Browns. The Browns got the best defense in football. Overall, they're ranked number 1.
Overall, they can be ranked number 1. I don't agree with it. I would agree that they have a very good defense. I don't think I think it's a tie, honestly. It's not even a tie. It's a two-way tie between us, the 49ers, and the Browns.
Yeah.
With the Cowboys, no offense to them, losing Trayvon Diggs, it hurts.
Yeah.
They still have Micah Parsons. The man's he's a freak. That man is a monster. But losing Trayvon Diggs hurts. I'm not saying they can't do next man up, but it hurts not having him. So,
yeah.
I think between the Browns and us are vying for the top. I think our secondary is better. I think Myles Garrett gets a little more penetration than Nick Bosa, but that's because he gets double teamed and held pretty much every play. But we'll see what happens. I mean, that's a divisional game. Ravens Browns, they play each other tough all the time.
All right, we're gonna do a couple picks and then we're gonna move on here. So, Chiefs Jets.
Obviously, Chiefs. They got Kelsey back. The Chiefs are firing on all cylinders. Jets have they got a broken piston in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I would definitely go with Chiefs on that one as well, especially with the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift thing being mainstream right now. That's
Which
all you're
side
hearing
note, by
about.
the way, I'm upset about that because apparently tickets to that Jets game increased by 45% just because it was rumored that she was going to be at the game. That sucks for people like me and you and everybody else that's poor and can't exactly afford tickets like that. Oh, we got tickets to the Jets game. Nah, by the way, they're like 200% more. They're 45% more. So an $80 ticket is like 120 now. Like
That's
that's
bullshit.
that's bullshit. Just because
Yep.
Taylor's going to be there.
Because of an attendee.
Because of an attendee, right? Because they want to see her in the skybox and maybe they think they're going to meet her in the hallway or something. Like it's not going to happen that way. Like, so I hate that it's a thing right now. Like I'm cool that it's bringing all the fans into football, but I hate that the Swifties are now like 500 million people more are now watching NFL because she's there. Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And last, Seahawks at Giants.
I hope the Giants put it together and beat the Toops because it's always, I don't like the Toops.
I would say the Giants definitely have the talent there to do it. They just they don't know how to make it all work.
Well, they're still missing Saquon Barkley right now, which is a huge part of their defense.
I think he's back.
Their offense, sorry.
I think he's back this week.
I would be shocked. He had a high ankle sprain. I'd be surprised if he was back this week.
He was upgraded to probable. So, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a game time.
He was probably limited in practice game time to say, yeah.
But that's not till tomorrow night anyway, so he has one more day of rest.
I got you. Then, of course, you got the Cardinals 49ers. Who you rooting for? You know who.
Niner Nation, baby.
Right? Bang, bang, Niner gang.
All right, let's move on. All right. Today in history.
Oh, Lord.
So I actually went to the old Google and I was like, what happened today? I just wanted to see what actually popped up. And there was quite a list that's happened on October 1st.
Did you use the Wayback Machine?
I used Britannica.com.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Which is pretty interesting here. So on this day in 2017, from his hotel room in Las Vegas, 64-year-old gunman Stephen Paddock opened fire on a music festival, killing 58 people and wounding hundreds.
That was today?
Before taking his own life. It surpassed the Orlando shooting as the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history.
There's actually a side note. There's a conspiracy theory surrounding that too.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, Scotty, did you do the Florida man like I told you to?
I did.
Florida man.
Before you start, for anybody that's wondering, if you type in any date followed by Florida man, you will get a news article from something that happened in Florida. And when I tell you the words ratchet and out of pocket don't even cover it, I'm telling you the truth. So which one did you find, Scotty?
Well, before we hop into that, let me tell you about what happened today in 1975, and you'll actually appreciate this. And what is regarded by many as the greatest prize fight of all time, the Thriller in Manila, Muhammad Ali defeated Joe Frazier after the latter's corner called a halt to the bout after 14 rounds.
Yep.
That's a long ass fight.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were 15, then they got shortened to 12.
Shoot.
And the only other one that I really liked on this one, a lot of the other shit nobody gives a damn about, but during Game 3 of the World Series, New York Yankee Babe Ruth made his famous called shot. Today is the day he called his shot and hit that home run. When he pointed to the center field seats in Wrigley Field and hit a home run to that spot. The Yankees defeated the Cubs and went on to win the title.
Don't nobody care about the Yankees.
I knew that was coming from you, but whatever.
Yeah, right. Nobody cares about the Yankees. Orioles, baby. Orioles all the way.
October 1st, Florida man.
I already got it pulled up if you want.
All right. Go ahead and read it out.
All right. So on this day in 2011, a Florida man passed out drunk in the drive-thru of a Taco Bell with his foot on the accelerator and his car in park, which caused it to catch on fire, but that didn't wake him up. The cops were called to the scene and woke up the man while he was still in the drive-thru. When an officer asked him for his ID, he proceeded to hand the officer a taco.
First off, I'm not giving up my taco, bro. So.
Oh my god, that is
Damn,
Florida
Florida man.
Yeah,
You're crazy.
Florida man strikes again.
That's funny.
Another fun thing to do with Florida man is type in your birthday, and then that's your Florida man.
Yes, yeah. Your Florida man story.
Type in your birthday, and there's a story.
Here's another one. October 1st of 2020, a Marion County man is in jail after police say he threw a Bible at the officers who were responding to a burglary call. The Lord said, repent.
Okay.
The Lord said, get out of my house.
He threw a Bible. He thought he was protected. He was immediately tased.
Damn. Damn, my boy pissed himself.
He said
down,
Jesus. They said Thor.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the last thing. It's been a great show, guys. By the way, I'm having fun.
That's hilarious.
Today's beverage of choice. Chris is drinking a Pepsi from.
I'm actually just drinking a little bit of water. We got a few errands we got to run today, so I got to stay reasonably sober.
So this is where I am. Old Smoky moonshine in a can.
I've had them. They're good. Yeah, they're really good.
So something that I want us to do at the end of every show and from here on out, and I want us to all do a shot of something. Whatever you have in the house.
Oh man.
We're gonna toast. We're gonna toast every show.
You had to do that, didn't you?
Well, we're not. We'll do it on the next show. But
we have to do it on the next show because we'd have to get up and go get it.
Well, now you know to have it ready. Exactly.
Now you know to have it ready. Well, actually, what we can do here is, since this is our first episode, we can go around the room and just say, what our preferred liquor is, what we enjoy drinking. So, Scotty, what do you like and what are you drinking? What are you drinking at the moment? Here recently.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really much of a fan until I started hanging around with you a lot more. But I'm a Crown Royal guy.
Crown, okay,
yeah. I wasn't much of a fan. I was never really a fan of brown whiskey liquor. Period. Started hanging around with when Jason lived around here. And
first off, it wasn't just me though; it was your brother too.
It was my brother. Yeah, but you're cooler than he is.
You've had some stuff that I had here too.
Yeah, well, yeah. Jameson's another one that's not bad. I've recently tried some proper number 12, which is the Conor McGregor stuff.
I'm gonna get back to you. It's still in my fridge, actually.
It's actually not bad. But yeah, I mean, Crown and Coke is always going to be my drink of choice.
It's nice
if I'm doing beer, I'm a Corona guy with lime. I used to be like the dogfish Ugg wearing dude. I don't really have Uggs, but
is that a piss warm Corona?
It's piss warm, yeah.
But there's a shot.
It's been getting blasted by my my laptop fans.
Oh, yeah. There's a shot right there. A warm shot of Corona.
Ooh, yum.
But beer costing $30 for a 12-pack just wasn't my jam. So
yeah,
Corona and some Crown will definitely get me through. So
gotcha. Chris, what you got there? What's your drink? What's your favorite drink? What do you been recently sipping on?
I've been on a Voodoo Ranger kick for probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 months.
That's the one you were drinking the other night, right? That you held up.
Yeah. I got an empty here.
Now, is that an IPA or is it just a beer?
It's an IPA.
Okay.
So this is my favorite one. There's Fruit Force, there's Juice Force, there's several others. The thing I like about it is it's super potent. So you got to be careful.
Does it taste like High C?
It does kind of taste a little bit like a fruit punch type thing, and it's not extremely hoppy. Like it's not.
That'll get you in trouble though.
I would be down to try it though. It will because what's the ABV on that?
9.5%.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was with you until you said that.
That was a lot higher than I was expecting you to say.
9.5 on my birthday. I had 6 of them.
God.
It was spread out, so I was all right. But
where'd you fall asleep? The couch, the floor, or the kitchen?
no, I went to bed.
Were you wearing pants?
I brushed my teeth. I did forget to take out my contacts, which sucked. But
Woke up
aside from that, it was fine. You know, it was all good. I was actually hanging out with the guy who fixed my my well pump.
So I had a few beers with him.
Well, I offered him one, but he's like, "Nah, I'm working, man. I'd love to. I appreciate it." I was like,
one of them, your well pump probably still wouldn't work if you gave him one of them.
Yeah, probably. You're right. He'd be passed out in my crawl space.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
He may still be there for real. I mean,
Yeah.
So
But,
what's your go-to?
Well, aside from the Voodoo Ranger, last year, I did one of those like DNA test things, and I found out that I'm very, very Scottish, very Welsh, and English. So I was like, I'll try some Scotch. So I started trying out some Scotch. I tried Monkey Shoulder. I tried that's like the beginner, like the first thing you go to.
Entry level.
Yeah, and entry level, exactly.
$20 for a bottle.
Right. So I started trying those out. But my all-time favorite that I've had so far is Four Roses, single barrel.
Okay.
It's a whiskey. Very good. It is, I think it's like 90 or 100 proof or something like that. But
Scotch is usually pretty strong, though.
Yeah, I did get I got a couple of those glasses. I forget Glencairn glasses, like tasting glasses. I got some of those. If it's 100 proof, I like to put like a small ice cube in it. Kind of.
You're supposed to, because it brings out the flavor. It opens it up.
Right. Because your tongue can only detect like a certain amount if the ABV is above a certain point. So you water it down just a tiny bit, and you can get more flavors out of it. So
right. Usually they say if you like a couple drops of water on the top, once you put the ice cube in it, it like
correct.
Swirl it. Yeah. Right.
Yep. Right. You got it. So that's my favorite. It is like $60 or $70 for a bottle of it, which isn't bad for.
I don't think that's horrible.
No, for a decent whiskey, it's not bad.
Right.
But
well, but I mean, if you're drinking Scotch, I mean, you've got like the Macallans, and God only knows how much a bottle of that is. I like a Macallan. A Macallan 12 is probably like dumb expensive.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
Oh, something cool I discovered though. I had never had mezcal. Do you know mezcal?
The name sounds familiar. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, mezcal it's a type of tequila.
Okay. You've got agave and mezcal, the two different types, right?
Right. The mezcal, that one, my wife and I, when we went to Mexico, it was like a few months ago. And she asked me if I wanted mezcal. I was like, "What's mezcal?" She's like, "Oh, you got to try it," because she's from Brazil and she knew, she already knew what it was. I was like, "I don't know what it is." Yeah, Brazil.
Brazil.
So I tried it and ended up spending, it was like 400 or 500 US at the pool that day.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was fun. But the cool thing about mezcal was I woke up the next day.
Didn't have a hangover.
Perfectly fine.
So
perfectly fucking fine.
There's an interesting thing that they say. So like whiskey and vodka and things like that, they all have like the additives that they use to make it. Apparently tequila, whether it be mezcal or agave, is extremely clean because all that's in it is the agave to make the tequila. So because there's no like extra additives and the way it's processed, apparently tequila, while don't get me wrong, it fucks you up. You recover a lot better through the night because you don't have a bunch of other shit floating in your system. Right. So apparently, according to a lot of people, drinking tequila is actually the cleanest way to drink because you won't have as much of a hangover the next day, if at all, as long as you stay hydrated while you're drinking. So that's a fun fact that I didn't know about until recently.
Yeah. I had no idea, and I was like, how do I feel okay? I was like almost blackout status at the pool.
Yep.
Like we were talking to people that we don't even remember talking to.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And we go back, and went to sleep, woke up, nothing.
Good to
Nothing.
go, yeah.
Not even like not a headache, not a stomach ache, not a
Just woke up
nothing.
ready to go.
Just woke up. I was like, let's go get breakfast.
Ready to rock.
Like let's go. And we actually went to cenotes that day. That like the next day, they're like these big craters, and you can like dive into them.
Oh.
And you swim in like these caves and stuff, and it was great. Like my muscles felt great. Everything was perfect.
Right. Just for reference, Macallan 12 scotch is actually on the cheaper side. You get about for like 60, 70. It's when you get to the Macallan 18, because obviously 12, 18, 25, that's the years it's been, fermented, barreled.
Right.
18 is about $1.70 a bottle, and then the 25, that's where you really step up to the big boy status. The bottle of Macallan 25 is like $2,500.
God damn!
I think that's the one I was thinking of, where like a shot of it is like $100
Yeah.
per shot. Like,
Yeah, I believe it.
Christ.
Right. So
That's
all right. So for
wild.
me, I am also, as Scotty said, I'm a Crown drinker. That's my that's usually my go-to. I've switched a little bit. I've started drinking a lot more vodka. I'm a huge fan of Tito's vodka. I've been a fan of Tito's vodka for a while now. Tito's and lemonade is my joint. That's been my go-to here recently, because the acidity of the lemon cuts down on the bite of the vodka, and it's just a really nice flavor. So the drink for my wedding, because we're doing a signature drink, is a lemon twist. So it's Tito's vodka, lemonade, and grenadine on top. So
Speaking of that, you get married in 6 days.
Yeah, I'm well aware. Thank you, sir. So I've been drinking Tito's lemonade, but my go-to is also I enjoy a Crown and Coke. Here recently, I've just been doing Crown with just like an ice cube and just swirling it and just sipping on straight Crown. The reason for that, as me and Scotty talked about before, is for my birthday, me and my fiance, we went in half. I bought myself a very nice bottle of Crown. It's the 18-year-old XR, and it was about $250 for the bottle. It was expensive.
Even the bottle is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, the bottle's pretty. It's a gorgeous bottle. Maybe I'll bring it in here next time and I'll show it. But it's a very pretty bottle. It's not, it's your typical high price, because you get the little, and then you get that satisfying that noise you make when you pull the thing out of it. But it's good to sip on. It's not. I don't mix it with Coke, because it's just, in my opinion, it's
too expensive to do that.
It's too expensive to mix with Coke. Like I feel like if I made a Crown and Coke with XR Crown,
That's like
I'd get a lot of shit. Yeah,
that's a sin.
Out. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you buy a $40 bottle of Crown. So
exactly,
that's my go-to. As far as beer, I'm trailer trash. Miller Lite is what I drink.
No,
I've never been big on IPAs.
MGD.
Yeah, I would drink MGD, but that's a full flavored lager, and you can only handle so many of those things before you get out in left field, because a case of MGD will really tear your butt up.
Sure,
for me,
absolutely.
for some reason, beer hits me harder than liquor. I don't know why. But yeah. So my go-to is definitely Crown. A little bit of Tito's. I'm down to try anything. I've there's people that they get up in a roar, fruity frou stuff, and that's for a girl. Guys don't drink that. Yeah, look, it's 2023. Drink what tastes good.
Yeah,
right.
Like seriously, just if you like something and it's fruity and it tastes good, like more power to you.
Absolutely.
So if it sounds good and it's got ingredients that I think I'll try it once. Yeah. I'm down to try anything. So, but yeah, and ironically enough, because we are live, my fiance, she did just bring me in a glass of Crown.
Nice.
Oh boy!
Shout out to Rachel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rachel's awesome, man.
So tasty.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts here, guys? We've reached the end of our list here.
I mean, I think it went really well for our first time. Hopefully, hopefully a lot of people see it, and hopefully a lot of people, get on board for next time.
Now that we figured it out, we knew,
like I said, it's a learning process.
Yeah, we definitely knew we were going to have bugs. We definitely knew that, there was going to be things that we had to learn.
Right.
Obviously, Kick does not work, so we have eliminated. Kick is no longer in the stream field here. No. Good, definitely a good show, guys. Thanks for your time today, man. I definitely,
no problem at all.
I definitely have fun, man. I can't wait to see what we do next.
Right.
All right, man. You guys have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm Scott, Jason, Chris. Have a good night, guys.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks, man.